So we all actually know that it is no news that the United Kingdom healthcare industry has been recruiting healthcare assistants from different parts of the world, and many things have since been happening since this program started. This very information is about a particular HCA that was recruited from somewhere outside the United Kingdom but suffered something close to discrimination and the way it was handled. So let's go into it and see how it all went. Hello, my people. Yeah, we don't actually consistently come across things like this, but I know in developed world is not an abnormal situation, or there are things that could really happen occasionally to some people at workplaces. So, I want to discuss with us the issues of workplace discrimination and the impact it could have on people. This we could reason together, and you too can look at yourself, check up yourself that you are not being discriminated against at work for being who you are or for being in a position that you happen to find yourself. And so I want to talk about this healthcare professional or healthcare worker who came from an African country. She was 30 years old when this happened. I don't know her date of birth, whether she has added a year or not now. But then when this happened, sometimes in June or July this year, 2023, this person was actually granted some huge amounts by courts of law in the United Kingdom. Like, this person was awarded £25,000 for what had happened to her at her workplace. And so let's dive right into this story. Now, what happened was that this lady, there were 5 of them that came from an African country to the United Kingdom as healthcare assistants or attendants, I learned, and some newspapers did say as a nurse, that she came as a nurse, but I'm not quite sure because some other papers said healthcare assistant or attendant. Now, she came and they were welcome, they were well embraced. Now, they were doing some to fill some forms. I would think they are occupational health related forms after taking some trainings, like the second day or thereabout, very at the early stages of their coming around to the place of work. You know, when you come around, you'll be given your room. So she's gone into her room, and now when they were doing the training, they were filling a form, and at that particular stage, she had to let them know that she was 6 months gone into her pregnancy, which, according to what we read, she did not declare to her employers during those stages. You know, there are places, there are forms you will fill, but I think it's because pregnancy is one of the characteristics protecting people. That's why those forms will not specifically ask you whether you are pregnant. I'm thinking that is what is happening, or that was what happened in our own situation. Now, when she said that, the person who was attending to her from that place of work said, oh, this make it a bit tricky, that they would have to tell the bigger horns and they would make a decision on her case. And now they went out there, they informed the bigger horns, let them knew that, oh, she was 6 months pregnant, and now they came to tell her that her appointment will be terminated. And you know what happens when you're on sponsorship, tier 1, tier 2, tier, these are tier sponsorship things. The moment your sponsorship, the moment your appointment has been terminated, it means that your sponsorship will be withdrawn and you can't stay more than 60 days in the United Kingdom except you get another employer. And but our case now will now be tricky. There are people who have waded through the water. They were able to get another job or other jobs within those 60 days. But then this is someone who just came. It's a different ballgame when the person has been practicing maybe for 2 or 3 or 4 months, and the first employer does not want to continue with them. They can actually get jobs with other employers. But here is someone who was just coming in afresh, like hasn't been there for a week, and now having an appointment about being terminated and her sponsorships about being withdrawn. So there is very slim chance that she might not get someone else to give her another job. And so it was a very, very difficult situation. So she moved on ahead when they said they would terminate, or maybe they probably terminated her appointment and were waiting for her to leave the United Kingdom back to Africa within 60 days. And I'm telling you, it wouldn't have been a very good situation, because I knew how it was in Africa, except those of us who maybe just wanted to move on silently. Sometimes, even when you want to move silently, within the cocoons of your family, amidst your co-family members, the very close people, there would have been bits of celebration, some little send forth. But then let's come and look at it. If she's someone who is very outgoing, then they would have possibly thrown parties for her that she was leaving for the United Kingdom. And now, to now get the shocking news that she would have to go back to Africa within the next 60 days wasn't a very pleasant situation at all. And so she had to seek for legal redress. And at the court of law, she was granted some amount of money. 10,000 was granted to her first. Sorry, my people. So they had to grant her 10,000. Honestly, I knew it was a kind of mental torture when you are not expecting anything like that, and they came. Someone would be mentally disconnected, like you'll be pushed off your feet, and physically, I'm sure some people won't be eating. Honestly, it would have been a very, very bad situation. So she was allotted 10,000, or awarded 10,000 pounds compensation for injury that has been caused to her feelings, and 14,790 for loss of past and future earnings. Then everything came all together to 25,810 pounds. Feels like something great, but she was quite thankful to the court of law. I'm sure she would have been thankful to her lawyers and the support she had got. But then there are issues I want us to note when it comes to things like this. Please, when you've got the job, I've seen situations where people came with heavily pregnant people that were about to give birth to children. To give birth to the children, at the verge of giving birth. And they came and they got the support of their employers. And they were able to go through those periods with as much support as they needed then. And I want to give it to such employers that could reason and feel with people that are coming from distant areas, very distant lands, to places like this, and they have to settle in. But I knew that in such situations, they would have asked them, oh, could you get someone who will be able to support you? Because they know that pregnancy, delivery, and the first phases of raising children in this part of the world or anywhere around the world is not an easy thing. Back at home, you get people from everywhere. Yeah, Bola, yeah, Shola, yeah, Benis, Mama Beatrice, Mama Quadri, Mama Peter. Everyone will be coming along to help you, to look after your kids. Your family members are there, your kids, sisters, your mom could be there, your mother-in-law, your sisters-in-law. You have many people around you to help, but here, you might not get. And so in such situations, what I knew employers who are experienced that have been doing would be to say, oh, could you get someone who could support you at this particular point in time? And really, people have been going through that and settling in successfully with it. But while preparing, is it something we can do to make the employers to have rest of mind? Let them know you are so. So if they are able to cope, they will say, okay, yeah, that's fine, come. We know how to do it. If you've got the jobs, in most situations, UK employers will not likely say, we are not going to have you again. They might say, okay, you may wait to give birth to the child, then come after, which I've seen employers suggesting to employees, to recruiters suggesting to the recruits. And I've worked in some times past. So please, let's not put the employers at a place or at a stage where they too will be having so much problem. But then employers looking at labor laws, looking at equality issues, and looking at workplace discrimination issues, I would have expected that an employer would have thought circumspectively about this and reacted in another way other than to say, oh, we are laying you off immediately and we are sending message to home office, your certificate of sponsorship would be withdrawn. I would have thought an employer or an administrator or a manager wouldn't have thought about this way. But then I really do not know the capacity at which the person that talked with this sister talked. Were they new into the position? Maybe they did not know. Were there things they mixed out? But in whatsoever case, I think it was very, very pathetic. Very, very pathetic. It shouldn't have got to that stage. It could have called for dialogue. How do we do it? And this was someone who came with 4 other women. They could have had plans. And why would she have not informed them? You know, there are some women, by the time they are pregnant, some, oh, they are something else. They can't do anything. They can't even lift their own hands and fingers or anything. But some people get extra energy the moment they are 1 day pregnant. This woman could have been someone like that. And even for them not to even have noticed that she was pregnant until she mentioned it, seems she was a very agile and well-fit person, that maybe she had been, I think that was her 2nd child or thereabouts. Maybe she had knew herself, she had known herself that she doesn't have problem, or maybe she's much more energetic during pregnancy than any other time. That could be a reason. And another thing is, coming from where we are from, when you are pregnant, you don't start telling people. You are not expected to be telling people everywhere. But it's different here. The moment someone say, oh, they've missed their period, even if they've not tested positive, pregnancy positive, they will be telling you, oh, I've not seen my period, I've missed my period, I've been expecting to miss my period. But you know, where we came from, you don't tell such stories. You allow the tale to tell itself to people. So it's the pregnancy that we announce itself that, oh, we are here. We soon jump out. You don't keep telling, but that could be a reason. Or she could have felt, oh, she was just going about her business. It wasn't anything extraordinary to her. But whatever it was, honestly, I think if she had known, I want to believe she didn't know that her employer should have been informed. Maybe she probably would have done that. But then I would have thought that employers would have known much more, looking at UK and knowing UK for what they are, especially when it comes to people of protected characteristics, women, people with particular age, disabilities, people of particular religion, people who are claiming some, who have some different sexual orientations to what other people have. You know, marriage and civil partnership issues, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion, you know, they talk about BAME, sex and sexual orientation. Honestly, these are issues that employers are always having at the tips of their fingers when they are dealing with employees, or the managers, administrators. They always have at their fingertips when they are dealing with other people. So she got that. But then I'm here to let you know a few things. It looked like a win, but sometimes I knew it would have been very, very painful. I knew it would have been very painful to the employer, because they brought people in, they were expected, because they need people to work with them. That was why they recruited, but now they've possibly felt disappointed or anything or something like that. Please, employers, kindly note that you have the responsibilities of supporting people that have one need or the other at your workplaces. And employees, please, you too have that responsibility to let your employer know those things you are passing through that ought to be shared with them because of workplace issues. Please, like if you are sick, you have to call in sick formally. If you are pregnant and you are having troubles with the pregnancy, you have to let them know formally. And if you have issues with childcare, please let them know formally and in time or on time so that they could organize someone to step into that place. Don't leave things to chances. Honestly, this case was really very pathetic, but then it was what it was. And maybe people back in Africa too should look at these. Seniors at workplaces, be kinder to your juniors, to your subordinates, managers. Be kind to those who are under you. Put yourselves in their shoes. Be empathetic with them. Listen to them. Listening is very, very important. Communication in this situation is very, very important. It could be they could have abstracted that person from places where they will be doing manual handling to places where they won't have to do that till they've given birth and come back to work. In such situation, there wouldn't have been so much huge loss and maybe love lost. Honestly, please and please and please. And if you think that because of a particular characteristics that you have, that you are being discriminated against, there are things you can do. Go down to gov.uk. So, like I was saying, you can check gov.uk to see what you can do in this situation. You can converse with your manager, your administrator, or anyone who is settling you down at work. You can talk with union bodies and seek their counsel on what you can do so as to prevent such situations that actually happened. And you can discuss with some people who have been there before you. If you have pressure group, Unison, RCN, or whichever union bodies you belong to, talk with them. This is actually not limited to people in healthcare industry alone, so that you can seek counsel and get counsel rather than going the law ways. But then I want to congratulate the person concerned, and I wish them good luck in all their endeavors. And I want to, register. How do I say? Like, I feel so sorry for the employer because that was a big, big loss. They lose an employer and they actually lost money again in the process. But then we lose some and we gain some. I know lessons would have been learned in so many ways, which in some cases, or maybe in this case, might not have been a very pleasant lesson. But then it was what it was. I believe it would have been a learning curve too for them. It would have been a learning curve, and it would have been guiding them now for what to do in such situations in the nearest future. So I wish everyone good luck in all efforts. Thank you very much. See you soon.